They said you'd never see footage of Biggie on the ground mean alive after the shots, but now, what looks like genuine last recordings just leaked. Raw video, never before seen audio, and Biggie speaking in his final moments. This isn't a tribute tied to a bombshell that changes history. Social media erupted instantly. Fans were in tears. Scotty Bell, Puff, even Small's family scrambled for damage control. Within minutes, hashtags like #Biggie Final Moments, #Notorious Truth, and #Biggie Last Words were trending worldwide. Theories flooded in. Was this staged to manipulate his legacy? Did someone hold back the tapes only to drop them now? And what do those final words actually mean? Celebrity reactions poured out. Comedians canceled sets and protest trap legends posted cryptic messages like "respect the tape." YouTube channels that swore all Biggie content is sacred broke policy to upload the clip. Was this the moment he set the record straight, or a dark play for clicks? One thing certain: once the Biggie on the ground footage is out, there's no control over the narrative anymore. And the next twist might just end hip-hop as we know it. It's the leak nobody thought could happen. For more than 2 decades, the world obsessed over every rumor, every blurry frame, every word about Biggie's final night. "Mo money, mo problems" blared from every car in America. But behind the music was a silence that nobody could ever explain, a silence that started on that LA street when Christopher Wallace, the Notorious B.I.G, hit the ground. The official story was always shaky. Police reports, tabloid headlines, and chilling news clips painted a picture, but never the whole one. Was it a random shooting or an industry hit? Why did the cameras on site malfunction that night? And how did so? Many witnesses remembered different details. From the moment news broke, everyone wanted answers. Puff Daddy gave interviews, but never too many details. Faith Evans refused to talk about what she saw. Junior MAFIA members said, "Ask me off camera." And as the years went by, legends only grew. Secret tapes locked in vaults. Bodyguards paid to keep quiet. A mystery female voice on the scene. Never confirmed so. When a burner account dropped a Dropbox link titled "Biggie Last Recordings, Real Deal," the internet nearly shut down. The leak started on a dark web forum, then shot to TikTok, Reddit, and finally hit mainstream Shade Room, WorldStar, even CNN. It wasn't just an audio snippet either, to a shaky, blood-splattered phone video from someone on the ground. Minutes after the shots, with Biggie trying to speak. Within hours, every fan site and conspiracy channel was picking the footage apart. You could hear bystanders screaming, sirens closing in, Biggie's voice weak but clear, trying to say something nobody had ever heard before. Out of focus faces rushing, blurred street signs, and what some claimed were LAPD uniforms. Was it real? The community split in two. Some said it's AI or deepfake. Others insisted on expert analysis comparing every breath, accent, and background noise to known Biggie tracks and the original crime scene. YouTube voice analysts and retired detectives posted hour-long breakdowns. But one thing united everyone. The leak forced old enemies and new fans to confront the legend, the mystery, and the raw reality that hip-hop never got closure. OGs and new-gen kids suddenly argued side by side. Why now, and who benefits? Is this a final message from Biggie, or a warning to someone else? Was it about music, beef, money, or the people around him? Celebrities added fuel to the fire. Diddy posted a black square and went silent. Lil' Kim called for respect and answers. Jay-Z's team denied involvement but made a rare, cryptic comment about truth always winning in the end. Meanwhile, alleged insiders started leaking more. Anonymous Twitter accounts hinted at unreleased tracks hidden in studio vaults, Biggie rapping over mysterious beats with lyrics that seemed to predict betrayal. One post read, "You thought the Tupac tapes were wild. Wait until the industry sees Big's real final words." And just as the story threatened to burn out, an anonymous source stepped forward to TMZ. They claimed to have been in the studio with Biggie that week. They described tension in named visitors, nervous bodyguards, and one phone call that changed his whole mood hours before the murder. No names were given, but the clues matched details from the new leak. As word spread, the pressure on everyone close to Biggie, friends, family, record execs was overwhelming. Some called it an attack on his legacy. Others demanded the full, unedited footage, hoping for closure or a final piece to the hip-hop puzzle. The one thing nobody could deny, this leak wasn't just about the past. It was about power, secrets, and the way hip-hop legends live and die under the world's microscope. The last question everyone's asking: if this is how the Biggie story ends, what's really coming next? The leak hit the world like an earthquake. But the aftershocks were even bigger. Within minutes, every hip-hop podcast and radio show was running emergency streams, trying to piece together what was real and what was just hype. The Biggie on the Ground video started looping on every feed, muted, blurred, chopped, and slowed down as everyone tried to decipher his final words. The media storm. TMZ went live outside Biggie's old Brooklyn block, interviewing everyone, from childhood friends to random fans, each with a new theory. "That voice is real. I'd know it anywhere," said one teary local. "This is a deepfake. Don't let them disrespect the legend," said another. MSNBC did a primetime segment called "The Legacy of Biggie, Who Owns the Truth?" Old-school hip-hop journalists clashed with digital-age TikTok detectives. "This is trauma porn," one OG said. "Nah, this is history F. It's real. It matters," argued a Gen Z podcaster. Meanwhile, Biggie's family was blindsided. His mother, Voletta Wallace, issued a statement. "We never asked for this. Please, let my son rest in peace. The world has hurt us enough." The fake leaks and sabotage, but just as the real footage went viral, the fakes exploded too. Clout chasers started dropping edited clips, AI-enhanced voiceovers, doctored street scenes, even videos claiming to show the shooter's face. A notorious YouTube leak channel posted a fake angle of the shooting, stirring up even more chaos. People began comparing real versus fake side by side. But the more they searched, the murkier it got. Then a wild twist. A verified producer who'd worked with Biggie in the 90s posted a cryptic tweet. "The truth is out there. Not all of it. Someone's about to get exposed for hiding more than footage." Suddenly, attention turned to the people who'd always controlled Biggie's legacy. Diddy, who'd profited off posthumous releases but never talked about that night in detail. His old label, Bad Boy, which still owned unreleased tracks rumored to be in a locked safe. The LAPD, accused of losing or suppressing key evidence for years. Celebrity panic within hours. Industry insiders started scrambling. Diddy's legal team issued a cease to any platform airing the tape. One of Biggie's old security guards went on Instagram Live, almost in tears, hinting he couldn't hold this in much longer. Faith Evans, caught off guard, posted a broken heart emoji and then went dark for days. Other rap legends posted tributes, trying to distract fans from the scandal. Nas, protect our stories, protect our icons. Jay-Z, sometimes the only thing more dangerous than a bullet is the truth. But behind the scenes, chaos was building. Journalists uncovered that a prominent music executive, never publicly linked to the case, had paid hush money to an unknown witness just months after the murder. A screenshot of an old wire transfer surfaced, fueling the fire. Was this to keep the tapes hidden? Did this exec know something nobody else did? The twist. The footage is only half the story, just as fans started to lose hope for answers. Another bombshell dropped. An anonymous source using a scrambled voice called into a top hip-hop radio show. They claim to have seen the original, unedited Biggie tape. What you got now? That's just the first half. There's another recording from inside the car, right before the shots. That one has voices you'll recognize, and a name gets mentioned that'll change everything. You think you know who was there? You don't. You don't. Instantly, speculation went nuclear. Was the second tape about to expose a celebrity, a rival label, or someone close to Biggie? Did it contain evidence the LAPD buried for decades, or was it another hoax? Hip-hop fans started digging into every piece of evidence, from the night phone records, police logs, even old club guest lists. Subreddits and Discord servers became crime labs as new theories emerged by the minute. The real bombshell. The anonymous source promised to drop the second tape if the world really wants the truth, no matter how ugly it is. The pressure was on. Biggie's family begged for respect and privacy. Fans demanded total transparency. Industry insiders did everything to suppress the leak before it could destroy reputations, careers, and maybe even expose more secrets from the East Coast-West Coast war. But one thing was certain, with every new twist. The Biggie mystery wasn't just about one night in LA. It was about who gets to control hip-hop's history. And what happens when the truth finally comes for those who've built empires on secrets and silence. The world barely had time to catch its breath when, just as promised, the second tape leaked, and the chaos that followed made the first leak look tame. The drop was pure theater. A burner Twitter account posted a countdown, and as thousands watched live, a new video link went up. Within seconds, every Discord, Telegram, and hip-hop forum had it in edited audio and grainy footage from inside Biggie's car on that fatal night. At first, you hear laughter, Biggie and his crew talking about the after-party, a few words muffled by static and the sound of traffic. But then, out of nowhere, a new voice enters the frame, someone not listed in any police report. A celebrity name instantly recognizable to hip-hop fans. Chills ran through the internet. The person's face is blurred, but the voice is clear as day. Yo, make sure we stick to the plan. No surprises tonight. I got you. A beat of silence. A nervous, you sure? From someone off camera. And then Biggie's voice, heavy but calm. We good? Just rollin', ain't nothing out here for us but love. Moments later, another car pulls alongside. You hear tires screech, a scream, and then gunshots. But the wildest twist. Right before the chaos, the camera shakes as someone in the car, not Biggie, but someone close, drops a name. It's not a rival rapper. It's not a random stranger. It's a high-powered music executive who'd never before been linked to the shooting. The name echoes as the tape ends. Instantly, the internet explodes. That's why the original tapes got buried. Was this an inside job to control Biggie's music rights? Who else knew about this and kept it secret? Old enemies collide. Within minutes, the old East Coast-West Coast beefs reignited. Tupac conspiracy channels revived, pointing out weird overlaps between this new name and key players in both murders. Rival labels dropped not-so-subtle shots in statements. Some in this industry have always profited from pain. Now the world sees it. Diddy's lawyers went into panic mode, threatening lawsuits, while other execs went silent. Suddenly, old unreleased tracks from both Biggie and Tupac surfaced on TikTok, mixed with wild new conspiracy theories tying the two deaths together. Media and culture. Meltdown news broke that the LAPD had possession of both tapes in the early 2000s, but never followed up. An ex-detective appeared on live TV, admitting he'd been ordered from the very top to close the file and move on. Another retired officer claimed key evidence vanished from the evidence room after a phone call from a powerful industry lawyer. The hip-hop world lost its mind. Hashtag Biggie tapes trended in 50 countries. Think pieces flooded the timeline about power, ownership, and how hip-hop's most painful stories are always twisted by those in charge. Legends spoke up. 2. Lil' Kim demanded a federal investigation. Nas called out the industry vampires feeding on black art. Snoop posted a cryptic video. They never want the real to come out, but time's up. But fans weren't waiting for the law. Online detectives found links between the executive on the tape and a string of hush money deals with other artists from the 90s and early 2000s. Forum threads exploded with scanned contracts, old tabloid rumors, and stories from ex-label staffers who weren't allowed to talk about Biggie in the building ever. Families in pain, industry in fear. Biggie's family issued another statement, this time pleading with fans not to harass them or chase internet justice. But for many, it was too late. Bloggers and TikTok sleuths staked out the executives. House, camera crews followed every family member. And even government officials hinted at reopening the case. Suddenly, everything about hip-hop history felt unstable. Was Biggie's death the result of a cold-blooded business play? Did the powers that built the culture also destroy its greatest icons? The shocking twist: a new leak hints more is coming, just as the world tried to process the fallout. A final message hit every major blog, a teaser video with a digitized voiceover. Biggie wasn't the only one with secrets. The next tape will change everything you think you know about the rap game's kings and who controlled them from the shadows. If you want the truth, stay tuned. Forums and comment sections went wild. Was this about Tupac or another unsolved case? Was the entire music industry built on lies, cover-ups, and money moves nobody ever imagined? All anyone knew, this story was just getting started, and the next leak could shatter everything: friendships, careers, maybe even the legacy of hip-hop itself. The second tape wasn't just a bombshell, it was a cultural detonation. Across every platform, the world exploded with rage, grief, and obsession. It was bigger than any album drop, bigger than any rap beef. This was the moment when everybody in hip-hop had to pick a side. Fan chaos. Within hours, millions of posts flooded Twitter, TikTok, and Reddit. We've been lied to for decades. Is bigger than hip-hop. This is about who gets to write Black history. Is anyone safe from the industry's secrets? Young fans clashed with old heads. Some demanded full exposure, release every tape, name every name. Others called for restraint, warning that real people's lives are on the line. The wildest conspiracy threads connected the dots between Biggie, Tupac, Suge, Knight, Diddy, and now a shadowy cabal of music executives who had always run the show from the shadows. Hashtag Biggie Justice and hashtag Industry Exposed trended at #1 worldwide. Some even threatened real-world protests, planning marches in LA and Brooklyn, demanding investigations into not just Biggie's murder, but all unsolved industry violence. Celebrity meltdown. Celebrities started picking sides, some for the first time ever. Diddy posted a video in tears, denying involvement and pleading, "I loved Big. I never wanted this." Jay-Z issued a cryptic tweet, "Truth and pain, sometimes they come together at the worst time." Lil' Kim did an emotional live stream, saying, "We deserve closure. We deserve peace. But don't let them twist Big's name for clicks." Meanwhile, old enemies were suddenly uniting. Nas and Fat Joe did a surprise Instagram Live, calling out the greed and silence that had haunted the culture. A-list actors, athletes, and politicians started weighing in. some hinting at support for reopening not just Biggie's case, but every mystery the music industry buried. Industry panic and backlash. Record labels went into full damage control. Bad Boy scrubbed all official social feeds of Biggie tributes, while other companies sent cease and desist to blogs reposting the tapes. Industry insiders and ours, former managers, PR reps, began leaking even more, some trying to clear their own names, others fanning the fire with tales of secret rooms, payoff lists, and missing evidence. A bombshell Rolling Stone. Expose accused major music execs of orchestrating the biggest cover-up in entertainment history. The LAPD and FBI both announced joint task forces to investigate not only the tapes, but also the decades of unanswered questions in hip-hop murders. Culture shock. A generation confronts its heroes. For millions of fans, this was a reckoning. Forums overflowed with stories from people who grew up on Biggie and Tupac, wrestling with the idea that their icons might have been pawns or even casualties in a much darker game. Documentary filmmakers rushed to option rights, and Netflix greenlit a docuseries within 48 hours. But the wildest twist was what happened on the street. Artists in cities around the world started holding truth vigils, block parties, open mics and ciphers dedicated to demanding justice, closure, and transparency in the industry. A cliffhanger no one saw coming. Just as it felt like the story had peaked, the burner account behind the second leak posted again. You wanted the truth now. You're going to get all of it. Next week, the final tape drops. This time, no one is safe. The video attached showed a blurred-out folder labeled The Kings and quick flashes of Tupac, Biggie, Diddy, Suge Knight, and other 90s icons, plus someone unrecognizable in a suit. The internet lost its mind. Is this the real puppet master? Is it about to expose government, cops, and execs? Will hip-hop ever recover from the final leak? One thing was clear. The story wasn't over. It was just reaching its most dangerous, dramatic, and viral moment yet. The whole world was watching now. From LA to London, Tokyo to Johannesburg, fans, artists, and industry titans refreshed their feeds every hour, counting down to the final leak that promised to shatter everything left of hip-hop's old legends. Alliances began to crumble. Lifelong friendships strained as new rumors circulated. Some artists who'd once called themselves family were now sniping at each other online, desperate to prove they weren't part of the cover-up. The executive named on the second tape had reportedly fled the country. Paparazzi spotted them in Monaco, boarding a private jet with heavy security. List rappers canceled appearances. PR teams ghosted reporters, and industry veterans quietly deleted old tweets, terrified of what the final tape might show. Meanwhile, Biggie's family and the families of other fallen icons, Tupac, Jam Master Jay, even XXXTentacion, held a joint press conference, pleading with fans and media. We want justice, but not at the cost of more pain. Please let the truth come out. Just don't make our loved ones victims all over again. But the machine was already in motion. Government agencies announced full-scale investigations. The FBI, LAPD, and IRS each launched parallel probes into money laundering, racketeering, and criminal conspiracy in the music business. Leaked memos suggested the scandal could go all the way to the top, with whispers of politicians and moguls caught on upcoming tapes. In the streets, the mood was tense and electric. Block parties and vigils gave way to marches and protests. Outside record label HQs, the demand was simple: release the tapes. Bring the puppet masters into the light. No more blood for profit. Rap fans, historians, and academics debated in public forums. Was hip-hop always destined to be manipulated by unseen hands? Can the culture survive when every legend's story is up for auction, clickbait, or exploitation? The final leak teaser and a shocking hint. Right at midnight, The burner account behind every leak posted one last video. No music, no faces, just a slow pan across a dark office. Walls covered in gold records, contracts, and photographs of the world's biggest stars. A distorted voice spoke. You wanted the truth. You wanted justice. But are you ready to see how deep it goes? The final tape isn't just about Biggie or Tupac or any one artist. It's about all of us and who's been writing the script since day one. Tomorrow, everything changes. In the final frame, a never-before-seen face flashed on screen, a person in a crisp suit, eyes cold and unreadable. The caption, "The Kingmaker. This is the real architect of the culture." And their story will destroy everything you thought you knew about hip-hop. The internet lost its mind. Comment sections blew up. Who is the Kingmaker? Is this a record label exec, a government agent, or someone even higher up? What if the truth is bigger than hip-hop, bigger than music itself, and all? Across the world, people braced for the final leak, because what started as a secret video of T.P. Lee's last moments had become a global reckoning. The fate of hip-hop and its most legendary icons now hung on the edge of a final. Irreversible truth. And tomorrow, there would be no more secrets. Now it's your turn. How do you think the story will end? Will the Kingmaker be exposed at last, or will the industry find a way to silence the truth again? Are you ready for the final leak? Or do you think some secrets are better left buried? Drop your wildest theories in the comments. Who do you think the Kingmaker is? Is it a record exec, a shadowy politician, or someone nobody ever suspected? And what do you think will happen? When the last tape drops, will it finally bring justice or just more chaos? Like this video if you believe the truth should always come out. And subscribe right now, because when the final tape leaks, you'll want to be first to see the real story unfold. Hit the bell so you don't miss a second when the news breaks. The whole world will be watching. Sound off below. Do you think the music industry can ever clean up its secrets? Would you support a new investigation? Or is it too late for real justice? If you could ask Biggie, Tupac, or a hip-hop legend one question after all this, what would it be? Share your own stories about betrayal, loyalty, and seeking the truth, because in hip-hop, every voice counts. Stay tuned, because the final leak is coming. And when the truth drops, history won't ever be the same.